one of the milestones we're betting on this IPL season is some team, maybe one or more teams, crossing the 300 run mark, and most of the bets would be, and I guess still are, on the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And they did start off with great fire. They posted 286 in that first match, but ever since then, Ayaz, in the 3 matches, they haven't breached 200 even. So we know this is a season still in progress, a lot more things will happen, but right at the moment, are you worried for the Sunrisers?
I am actually, and they should be really worried because from the first match when they made 286 to the last match where we saw them lose to KKR by 80 runs, they just made about 120. That's a colossal slump for a team which is actually built around its, very powerful batting lineup or very powerful top order. So not only is the top order not clicking, I mean Abhishek Sharma has just done nothing of note this season. Travis Head has been iffy. Ishan Kishan has kind of faded away after the century in the first match. Heinrich Klaassen, who looked consistent but not made the tall scores. So this is a major problem for Sunrisers Hyderabad because the minute other teams are going to take the field and they know that this batting is not clicking, they start fancying their chances. And then we also have the scenario where the bowlers are not really either proving to be economical or getting wickets in a cluster. So they've got Pat Cummins, they've got Mohammad Shami, they've got Harshal Patel, they've got even Adam Zampa if they want, but it's just not working out for them so far. So I think they really need to reboot and look at how to do things differently, maybe tactically. Technically is one aspect, but even tactically, if you lose too many wickets up front, playing, going hammer and tongs, then I think maybe they need to revise that tactic a bit.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question. So do you think it's time to reassess the strategy? I mean, they sort of put this team together on the back of those batters, and they put this team together to cross that 300 run mark, and they've loaded it with explosive batting. But given what they've been doing for the past 3 matches, there would be some voices coming in saying that temper it down, maybe tone down that aggression. But do you think they need to do that, or just keep doing this because eventually you have the talent to know that it will come off?
Yeah, I mean, it's a catch-22 situation for them. The template is built around, this top 5 or 6, just taking the kind of, fight into the enemy camp, so to speak, and subduing them. It's not happening. I think Pat Cummins mentioned after the last match that they need to reassess. Once the guys who are down or out there in the middle, they have to take the call. When do you stop taking those ultra risks and making sure you bat out 20 overs and run up a reasonable score? Or do you feel that that's going to be a regressive step and it's going to give the advantage to the opposite team? So it's not an easy call to make, but I think ultimately, I know that the template globally has changed in T20. People are, teams are just going hell for leather from ball one. But if it's not working out, and I think what is happening also is that we've seen so far this season, IPL 2025, that pitches have become a factor, a crucial factor in how what totals are being reached and which matches are being won or lost, because players, especially batsmen, have not been able to adapt technically or temperamentally, I would say. So that is something that SRH have to look at very closely, because so far, barring the first match, nothing seems to have worked out for them.
Yeah, so you brought up the pitches, and lastly, I think we'll focus on this a bit. So today's big match is LSG versus Mumbai in Lucknow. Now, we know that Zahir Khan had a problem with the pitch that was there in Lucknow last time, and apparently today's match is going to be a lot more spin friendly, but that is not the talking point I want to focus on, because both teams have had their set of flaws, as have all the teams really, except for maybe Delhi or Punjab, but they just played 2 matches each. But getting back to this match, the main talking point seems to be the batting returns or lack of batting returns from Rishabh Pant and Rohit Sharma, the big icons of the teams. But we haven't seen the Rohit who turns out for India turn out for Mumbai yet, and Rishabh Pant seems to be bogged down by the additional responsibility of being captain. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, clearly it's weighing on him. I mean, he's a young man, captain, as well as the 27 crore price tag that he's carrying around with him everywhere, and people are making him conscious of it. Perhaps he himself is conscious of it. So he needs to cast that aside. Rishabh Pant, they also have a very strong top order, much like SRH. They've got Aiden Markram, they've got Nicholas Puran, they've got Rishabh Pant, they've got David Miller, they've got Ayush Badoni. But of this lot, so far, Mitch Marsh has played one innings of some consequence. Nicholas Puran has been their best batsman by far, but the others haven't done much. So they need runs, particularly. I think Lucknow need runs from this top order or this hefty top order because their bowling is weak. They were missing Mayank Yadav, Mohsin Khan, Avesh Khan. Avesh Khan is back. So is Akashdeep for this match, which is good news for Lucknow because he's a very steady and controlled kind of a bowler. But Ravi Bishnoi hasn't done much for them, and they are now running up or coming up against a team where Rohit obviously is struggling for runs. Also in 3 innings, he's got next to nothing, much like Pant. But otherwise, their batting looks to be coming into its own. I thought Surya Kumar Yadav looked very impressive against KKR. So also Rickleton has been good, the young South African. Hardik Pandya has looked in good nick. Tilak Verma, maybe not at his best, but he's also a very fine batsman, as we know. Naman Dheer. The bowling attack of Mumbai is really very good. I think Trent Bolt, Hardik Pandya, Vignesh Puthur, Mitchell Santner, who probably at this point in time is the world's best spinner, not just a left-arm spinner, perhaps the world's best spinner. They've also got Mujibur Rahman if they need his services. So against this kind of a bowling attack, it becomes even more incumbent on Lucknow's top order, and especially Rishabh Pant, to give the scores that his kind of beleaguered bowling attack can defend or lead them to a win. So Pant, I think he'll regret a couple of the strokes he's played in the first 3 matches, but that's the way Pant is. Ultimately, all will be forgotten and almost forgiven if he comes up with a match-winning knock.
Yeah, and let's see if that happens, and we'll come back to you after the next batch of matches. So that's it for this episode of Sports Room. We'll see you next time.